Americans feel like they are in a recession, and 70% of these Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. Hi, it's Edward, back with another video. Please take a moment to click the thumbs up button below and consider subscribing to the channel. Please also share this video with your friends. Thank you for your support. Today, I read several financial news articles. I've included links to the articles in the description below. I encourage you to read the articles to support the authors and news sources. As a private American citizen, I'd like to report and share my transformative thoughts through commentary regarding small sections of these articles that are of public interest. Today, I read an article on Yahoo Finance put out by Bankrate and written by Lane Gillespie titled, "Half of Americans Say Their Personal Finances Have Gotten Worse Since 2020. Is relief on the way in 2024?" The author of this article references key economic indicators from Bankrate polling. According to the author, the U.S. isn't in a recession, but many Americans feel like it is. 59% of U.S. adults feel like the economy is in a recession. Well, my friends, there are a lot of opinions out there about this. Some people accuse the government of moving the goalpost to define a recession. Others feel like the economy is doing great, and we are going to see a record year in the stock market and the housing market. I have no doubt many Americans feel like we are in a recession right now. Some businesses have slowed tremendously. My friend's trucking business has slowed dramatically. Many real estate agents have had to quit working in that industry and go back to a 9-to-5 job doing something different. The same holds true for many mortgage brokers. Depending on the industry, some Americans have not been able to sustain themselves financially, and they have had to make some big changes in their lives. Many people have seen their incomes drop, and unfortunately, they are still being impacted by inflation. Everything in life costs more, and many people are struggling to keep up. To my point, the author of this article says 66% of Americans say the economic environment has negatively impacted their finances as of October 2023. That figure rises to 85% for Americans who believe the economy is in a recession. If people are earning less and have to contend with higher prices for just about everything in life, this is a recipe for disaster. Unfortunately, there are a lot of individuals who aren't prepared for disaster because they have no emergency savings. The author indicates 48% of Americans have enough emergency savings to cover at least 3 months worth of expenses. As of May 2023, 22% have no emergency savings at all. Imagine having no emergency savings at all. What happens if you have a wheel bearing go bad on your car? What happens if one of your children breaks a leg? What happens if the furnace in your house stops working and needs to be replaced in the dead of winter? There are so many things that could potentially happen in your life that cost money. Some people will just use their credit cards. The problem is, some people are using their credit cards so frequently to deal with inflation that they don't have much available credit left. Some may be able to get the credit card company to increase their credit limit, but not everyone will be that lucky. The author of this article indicates Americans' debt is piling up. 36% of U.S. adults have more credit card debt than emergency savings as of January 2023, the highest percentage since 2011. So when people experience a financial emergency in life, what do people do when they have little to no emergency savings and a credit card company won't increase their limit? I suppose some people may have parents who can bail them out. Unfortunately, not everyone has parents who are still alive, and not everyone has parents who are flush with cash and willing to share it. Hopefully, some of these people have good friends who are generous. It's scary to me that so many people don't have any emergency savings. Now, here is the scariest thing that I read in this article. The author said 33% of American workers were worried about their job security as of April 2023. This is a decent percentage of Americans who are worried about potentially losing their jobs. Now, this is not financial advice. This is just what I would do if I were in that type of situation with no emergency savings. If I were working a job where I thought I might become unemployed, I would do everything in my power to cut costs in my life to free up cash to build up emergency savings. I would also go through my closets, garage, attic, basement, or storage shed and look for stuff to sell that I didn't use anymore. I'd also start looking for a part-time job so I'd at least have some type of income in case I lost my primary job. I would take control of my situation to the best of my ability. I'm curious, what would you do? Tell me about it in the comments section below. Perhaps Janet Yellen should take a close look at some of the information that I shared with you today and sit down with some everyday Americans who are struggling financially. The reason I suggest this is because according to an article I read today on Yahoo Finance, put out by Reuters and written by David Lauder, Janet Yellen says Biden's policies help U.S. middle class more than Trump's. Now, before I get into this article, I'm not trying to sway you politically one way or the other. I'm going to simply report some information of public interest and share my transformative thoughts about it. According to the author, Yellen told the Economic Club of Chicago that improving signals from the economy, including stronger than expected GDP data on Thursday, showed that recession fears were over, inflation was subsiding, and middle-class job opportunities were rising thanks to Biden's infrastructure and clean energy investments. In my opinion, the recession fears are not over. Has Janet Yellen not paid attention to history? An inverted yield curve has foreshadowed all recessions since 1955, with the exception of 1966. I consider 1966 to be an outlier. Perhaps we may experience another outlier, but I personally doubt it. I'll share with you direct quotes from Janet Yellen. She said, "I think Americans do believe inflation is under control. I think if inflation remains low and the labor market remains strong, so people feel good about their job prospects, you'll see sentiment improve." Well, my friends, did you notice how many times she used the word "I" in her statements? She is sharing her opinion about what she thinks. Do you really want to believe her? Take a look at her track record. In May of 2021, she said, "I don't anticipate that inflation is going to be a problem." Well, we all saw how that turned out in 2021, 2022, and 2023. Personally, I don't think Americans believe inflation is under control. I think if you walk into any grocery store, doctor's office, auto repair shop, car dealership, or real estate office and start informally polling random people, you won't find many that believe inflation is under control. I read through many of the comments beneath this article. I'll share some of them with you. One commenter wrote, "Yellen in 2021 said inflation is transitory." Yellen in 2022 said, "We were wrong on inflation." Yellen in 2023 said, "Bidenomics is working." Yellen in 2024 could say, "We are sorry, we crashed the economy." Let's hope that person is just trying to have a sense of humor regarding his 2024 prediction of what she might say. The next commenter said, "Even if true, it is totally tone deaf. She will never convince people who go to the grocery store, pay insurance premiums, write checks to pay bills, or go to the gas station that everything, literally everything, is in fact more expensive, and your dollar does not go as far, and you have to put wants off just to pay for needs." It's the economy we see and feel, not the Yellen numbers and the projections that matter. The next commenter said, "I just got back from the store, broke again." The next commenter said, "Biggest laugh I've had in a long time." The last comment that I'll share with you came from someone who wrote, "They used to say, tell a lie long enough and they'll believe it. Not this time. I believe what's not in my wallet." What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. Well, the economy is so great that we have a low percentage of people living paycheck to paycheck. I'm sorry, my friends, but that would be fake news. Let me share with you reality. I read an article today on Yahoo Finance, put out by Go Banking Rates, and written by Jacob Wade, titled, "This Generation is Surprisingly Most Likely to Live Paycheck to Paycheck." The author of this article referenced a recent Go Banking Rates survey which revealed over 70% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck at least some of the time, while nearly 50% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck all of the time. The author went on to say, the generation most likely to be living paycheck to paycheck is millennials between the ages of 35 to 44. According to the survey, 58% of participants in this age group reported they are currently living paycheck to paycheck, while another 22% said they live paycheck to paycheck some of the time. Please keep in mind this is a survey. so we never know how generalizable these findings are to the entire population in America. However, this is still interesting information. To me, it is scary that 70% of Americans could be living paycheck to paycheck at least some of the time. Given all of the debt that many Americans have, their house of cards could potentially blow over at any moment if they encounter an expensive, unexpected situation. This happened to a lot of people during the Great Recession. They ended up losing everything. These people living paycheck to paycheck are often not in a position to deal with unemployment. They lack the savings to weather the storm until they find a new job. This was very problematic during the Great Recession when the unemployment rate hit a peak of 10.6% in January of 2010. If we enter an ugly recession in the future, many of these Americans living paycheck to paycheck may be in trouble. What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Please keep in mind that everything in this video is for entertainment purposes only, and nothing in this video is financial advice or advice of any kind. If you need advice, seek advice from a qualified professional in good standing who puts your interests first and foremost. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to the channel. Please also consider sharing this video with your friends. I want to extend a special thanks to everyone who has subscribed to this channel. I want to also thank all of my channel members. Check out some of the great books that I suggest you consider reading in the description below. I've included Amazon affiliate links to these books. As an Amazon associate, I earn from qualifying purchases. Stay healthy and wealthy. I'll see everyone in the next video.